Picture this: a sea of thousands, pulsating in unison to a rhythm that transcends language, a digital wave that can crash through the servers of the world's biggest platforms in seconds. K-pop is no longer just a genre, it is a global language of passion, and the fans are its most dedicated speakers. We're talking about a phenomenon where music meets movement, and where a single tweet can spark a worldwide movement. But in this ocean of talent, who truly stands at the peak? Which groups have managed to build empires that span from the streets of Seoul to the heart of New York, London, and Jakarta? Is it about the sheer numbers on social media, or is there a deeper, more emotional connection that keeps millions hooked for years? Today, we peel back the curtain on the legends and the rising stars. Who has the most loyal army? Who commands the loudest cheers? And most importantly, who has the power to change the world with just one song? Get ready as we explore the 8 K-pop groups with the largest fandoms on the planet. This is more than a list. It's a testament to the power of music and the people who live for it. Can you guess who takes the crown? Are you ready to see if your bias made the cut, or will there be a surprise that leaves you breathless? Let's begin this epic journey into the heart of the Hallyu wave. Number 8. ATEEZ, the Pirate King's small agency wonders, breaking the Big Three curse. When we talk about the world of K-pop, there's often an invisible ceiling, a barrier built by the giants of the industry known as the Big Four. But then, out of a small basement at KQ Entertainment, a group emerged that didn't just knock on the door, they blew the hinges off. We are kicking off our countdown with a group that redefined what it means to be an underdog, ATEEZ. At number 8, this 8-member powerhouse has cultivated a fandom so fierce, so loyal, and so globally spread that they have become a case study in how to conquer the world without a massive corporate machine behind you. Known as ATEEZ, a beautiful fusion of ATEEZ and Destiny, this fandom is more than just a collection of listeners. They are a crew sailing on a ship that has weathered every storm the industry could throw at them. To understand the scale of ATEEZ's impact in 2026, you have to look back at their 2018 debut with Pirate King. Back then, they were just kids with a dream and a concept that many thought was too dark or too niche. But there was something in their eyes, a raw, hungry intensity that couldn't be ignored. While many groups focus on domestic charts first, ATEEZ looked at the world map. They were one of the first groups to sell out world tours in Europe and the United States before they even had a major hit on the Korean charts, proving that music is a universal language of passion. Their stage presence is legendary, often described as demonic in the best way possible. Members like San and Seonghwa have become icons of performance art, blending dance with a level of facial expression and storytelling that feels more like a theatrical play than a 3-minute pop song. And then there's Hongjoong, the captain, whose leadership and production skills have guided the group through the complex Treasure and Fever eras, creating a lore-heavy universe that keeps ATEEZ theorizing for months. By the time we reached 2024, ATEEZ had shattered the small company stigma by becoming the first K-pop boy group to perform at Coachella, a moment that sent shockwaves through the industry and solidified their status as global icons. But the momentum didn't stop there. In 2025, their In Your Fantasy World Tour saw them headlining stadiums that were once reserved only for the likes of BTS or BLACKPINK. The statistics are staggering, from multiple albums hitting the top of the Billboard 200 to their 2025 release Ashes to Light, which surpassed millions of copies in pre-orders alone. What makes the ATEEZ fandom so massive isn't just the numbers, but the emotional investment. This is a fandom that remembers when the members only had one shared bedroom, when they practiced in a tiny room with no windows, and when they were overlooked at award shows. Every win for ATEEZ feels like a win for every fan who has ever felt like an outsider. In 2026, with their contracts renewed and their creative fire burning brighter than ever, ATEEZ has proven that destiny isn't something that is given, it's something you fight for. They have built an empire on the foundations of hard work and an unbreakable bond with their fans. As we look at the sea of light sticks shaped like compasses at their sold-out shows in London, New York, and Seoul, it's clear that the ATEEZ voyage is far from over. They have successfully bridged the gap between being a niche favorite and a global titan. Their influence on the 4th generation of K-pop is immeasurable, setting the standard for performance-heavy, concept-driven groups that followed in their wake. The ATEEZ fandom continues to grow exponentially, especially in Latin America and Southeast Asia, where their rebel spirit resonates with a youth culture that craves authenticity and raw energy. They are the living proof that in the digital age, talent and a never-say-die attitude can trump even the biggest marketing budgets. So, as we stand here in 2026, witnessing ATEEZ dominate the charts and the stage, we have to ask, if this is what they achieved from a small basement, is there any limit to where they can go next? The Pirate Kings have officially claimed their treasure, and their kingdom is now the entire world. ATEEZ across the globe aren't just fans, they are part of a revolution that changed the landscape of the music industry forever. They represent the power of the marginalized, the strength of the collective, and the beauty of a dream that refused to be silenced by the giants. ATEEZ at number 8 is a testament to the fact that sometimes the loudest voices come from those who were told they would never be heard. And as the bass drops on their latest world tour, one thing is certain, the world is finally listening, and they can't get enough of the fire that ATEEZ has ignited. It's a legacy built on sweat, tears, and a compass that always points toward the future. Number 7. 17. The self-producing titans, 13 members 1 diamond, the masters of synchronization. Imagine the sheer chaos of trying to organize 13 distinct personalities, 13 different dreams, and 13 unique voices into one single harmonious heartbeat. In the high-pressure world of K-pop, where groups are often manufactured with surgical precision by massive corporations, there exists a group that defied the odds by taking the tools of creation into their own hands. We are talking about the Performance Kings, the group that turned a green-walled basement into a global empire. 17. At number 7, 17 stands as a monumental pillar of the Hallyu wave, backed by a fandom known as Carat, a name that signifies how the fans help the members shine brighter as they grow in carat weight. To understand the magnitude of 17 in 2026, we have to travel back to their humble, almost desperate beginnings in the Malona room. Before they were selling out stadiums in minutes, these 13 boys were squeezed into a small practice room with green padding, their future uncertain as their agency, Pledis Entertainment, faced financial turmoil. They didn't have the luxury of expensive producers or world-class choreographers at the start, they had each other. This necessity birthed the self-producing idol era. With Woozi crafting the melodies in his studio and Hoshi dreaming up intricate, high-energy choreography, 17 proved that authenticity is the ultimate currency in music. This isn't just a group, it's a self-sustaining ecosystem consisting of 3 units, vocal, hip-hop, and performance, each contributing to a whole that is far greater than the sum of its parts. By the time 2024 and 2025 rolled around, the world witnessed the 17 right here phenomenon, where they didn't just top charts, they took over entire cities. From their historic performance at Glastonbury, the first K-pop group to ever grace that legendary stage, to headlining Lollapalooza Berlin, they showed the world that synchronization isn't just about moving at the same time, it's about sharing the same soul. Carrots aren't just fans, they are a community built on the Going 17 spirit, a variety show phenomenon that turned 17 into the nation's best friends. In 2026, the bond between 17 and Carrots has reached a level of maturity and depth that is rare in the industry. Even as members began their inevitable journey into mandatory military service, the fandom didn't shrink, it solidified. The Team SVT spirit became a movement of patience and unwavering support. Their 2025 album, 13-1 = 0, became a poetic manifesto, reminding the world that as long as they are together in spirit, the circle remains unbroken. The statistics of their success are mind-boggling. Multiple million-seller certifications within the first 24 hours of release, and their 10th anniversary project in 2025, becoming the highest-selling physical album in Hallyu history at that point. But beyond the numbers, it's the emotional resonance of songs like Circles and Super that keeps millions of Carrots across Europe, North America, and every corner of Asia deeply invested. They've moved from the Ajunis energy of youth to the sophisticated stadium-shaking power of Maestro. As we look at the global landscape today, 17's influence is everywhere, from their appointment as UNESCO Goodwill Ambassadors for Youth to their influence on fashion and modern choreography. They taught an entire generation that even if you start in a basement, as long as you have your brothers and a diamond-hard resolve, you can touch the stars. The Karat fandom is legendary for its kindness and organized strength, often leading massive global charity projects in the name of the members, proving that the light from these 13 diamonds reflects the best parts of humanity. Watching a 17 concert in 2026 is like witnessing a masterclass in stagecraft. The energy is infectious, the live vocals are flawless, and the connection with the audience is so tangible you can almost feel it in the air. They are the group that made 13, a lucky number for millions. They are the proof that when you give your heart to your craft, the world will eventually give its heart to you. As they continue to break records and redefine what it means to be a long-lasting group in a fast-paced industry, one thing is certain: 17 and Carats aren't just making history. They are living a beautiful, never-ending story. The question isn't whether they are legends that's already been decided. The question is, just how much higher can these 13 stars climb before they occupy a galaxy all their own? As the SVT chant echoes through the world's largest arenas, the answer is clear: the diamond is forever, and its glow is only getting brighter. Number 6. Stray Kids. The rogue architects of sound. Straying together. The global noise revolution. If there is one group that perfectly encapsulates the chaotic, rebellious, and unapologetically loud spirit of the modern era, it is the 8-member powerhouse that refused to follow the map laid out for them. We are talking about the group that turned the word stray into a badge of honor, creating a sanctuary for anyone who ever felt like they didn't belong in the status quo. At number 6, we find Stray Kids, a group that has transcended the traditional K-pop idol mold to become a self-sustaining creative force that the world simply cannot ignore. Backed by their massive and fiercely protective fandom, Stay, they have built a global empire, not by playing it safe, but by cranking the volume up until the world had no choice but to listen. To understand the sheer magnitude of Stray Kids in 2026, we have to look back at the daring foundation laid by their leader, Bang Chan. In an industry where agencies usually handpick members, Bang Chan was given the rare autonomy to assemble his own team, choosing brothers who shared his hunger and his vision. From the moment they dropped Elevator during their 2017 survival show, it was clear this wasn't going to be a typical pretty boy group. They were raw, they were gritty, and they were talking about the mental struggles of youth in a way that felt terrifyingly real. For years, critics tried to dismiss their signature sound as noise music, a label the group didn't just reject, they weaponized it. With the release of God's Menu in 2020, they essentially invented a new genre: Malatang music, a spicy, addictive, and multi-layered sonic experience that hit the global palate like a freight train. By the time we reached the mid-2020s, that noise had become the heartbeat of a generation. In 2024 and 2025, Stray Kids didn't just participate in the global music scene, they dominated it with the force of a tectonic shift. We saw them making history as the first entire K-pop group to attend the Met Gala together, dressed in custom Tommy Hilfiger, proving that their influence had bled into the highest echelons of global fashion. Their 2024 album, ATEEZ, and the 2025 masterpiece, Giant, didn't just top the Billboard 200. They stayed there, breaking records for the most consecutive #1 debuts by any group since the peak of boy band mania in the late 90s. The Stay fandom is a phenomenon in itself, a digital army that operates with the precision of a Swiss watch. Whether it's selling out 4 consecutive nights at Tokyo Dome or filling stadiums in Los Angeles and London during their Dominate World Tour, Stays have proven that their loyalty is unbreakable. But what is it that keeps millions of people so deeply attached to these 8 men? It's the 3 Racha effect. The production trio of Bang Chan, Changbin, and Han ensures that every lyric and every beat comes directly from their own experiences, creating a level of transparency that is rare in pop music. When Felix's subterranean bass voice rumbles through a track, or Hyunjin's hypnotic, fluid dance moves take center stage, it's not just a performance, it's an expression of a group that has spent nearly a decade perfecting their craft. In 2026, Stray Kids stands as the vanguard of the 4th generation, though many argue they have already ascended into a league of their own. Their impact is visible everywhere, from the way new groups emulate their self-producing model to the massive influx of luxury brand deals, with members representing titans like Louis Vuitton, Versace, and Cartier. But even with all the glitz and glamour, the heart of the group remains in the small moments. Bang Chan's late-night live streams where he becomes a big brother to millions, Sungmin's dedication to vocal perfection, Lino's quirky and sharp leadership in the dance studio, and IN's transformation from the baby bread of the group into a sophisticated global icon. The 2025 contract renewal was a moment of collective celebration for STAYZ, a confirmation that this journey is nowhere near its end. As we look at the statistics surpassing tens of billions of streams on Spotify and becoming one of the top-selling physical artists globally, the numbers only tell half the story. The real story is found in the millions of STAYZ who found a home in the Step Out philosophy. It's the story of a group that told their fans, "You make stray kids stay," creating a symbiotic relationship where the fans give the artists a reason to exist, and the artists give the fans the strength to face their own elevators. As 2026 unfolds, Stray Kids is pushing the boundaries of what a K-pop group can be, experimenting with AI-integrated performances and immersive fan experiences that make every stay feel like they are right there in the studio with them. They have become the architects of a new world, one where being a stray is the coolest thing you can be. Their stadium tours are no longer just concerts, they are massive, high-octane gatherings of a global family that speaks the language of three Ratcha's beats. From the streets of Seoul to the largest arenas in Europe, the SKZ chant is a roar that signals the arrival of the new kings of the global stage. They didn't just climb the ladder of success, they built a whole new skyscraper. And as they look down from the top, they aren't looking for followers, they're looking for more kids to join them in straying away from the ordinary. The question remains, in a world that constantly tries to box you in, how much further can Stray Kids go by simply refusing to stay in line? The world is their playground, and with Stay by their side, the revolution is just getting started. Number 5. EXO. The cosmic legends, the masters of the Silver Ocean, the undisputed kings of concepts. To talk about the history of modern K-pop without mentioning the sheer, tectonic impact of this group would be like trying to explain the solar system without the sun. We are moving into the top 5 with a group that didn't just debut. They arrived from another planet, bringing with them a lore so deep and a talent so immense that it shifted the entire industry's axis. At number 5, we have the legendary EXO. Backed by the Silver Ocean of EXO-L, a fandom whose name stands for EXO Love and represents the bridge between the group's initial subunits, this group has spent over a decade proving that they are not just idols, but a cultural institution. To understand the magnitude of EXO in 2026, we have to travel back to 2012, a time when the superpower concept was seen as a massive gamble by SM Entertainment. Each member was assigned an element: fire, telekinesis, teleportation, water, and while critics were skeptical, the fans were mesmerized. But it was 2013 that changed everything. The release of Growl didn't just top charts, it became a national syndrome in South Korea. It was the song that brought back the physical album era, with EXO becoming the first artist in 12 years to sell over 1 million copies of a single album, a feat that paved the way for the massive numbers we see in the industry today. The journey of EXO and EXO-L has been one of incredible highs and heart-wrenching trials. They weathered the departure of members, intense media scrutiny, and the inevitable military hiatus that usually spells the end for most boy groups. But EXO is not most groups. Their resilience is legendary. In 2024 and 2025, we witnessed the EXO Renaissance. With all members finally completing their mandatory military service, the group returned with a maturity and vocal prowess that left the world breathless. Their 2025 album, The Final Odyssey, was a masterclass in R&B and pop, proving that even after 13 years, their harmonies are the gold standard of the industry. The vocal line Baekhyun, Chen, and D.O. continues to be cited by vocal coaches worldwide as the holy trinity of K-pop singing. But the impact of EXO extends far beyond the recording studio. In 2026, the members are global titans in their own right. Kai has become a definitive icon for Gucci and a pioneer of performance art in dance. Sehun and Chanyeol have conquered the worlds of high fashion and acting, while Suho has established himself as a powerhouse in the musical theater world. Lay, despite his activities in China, remains an eternal thread in the EXO fabric, embodying the one in We Are One. The EXO-L fandom is unique in its composition. It is a multi-generational force. You have the original fans who grew up with them since high school, now working professionals, and a whole new wave of Gen Z fans who discovered their discography through viral hits on social media. This diversity has allowed EXO to maintain a massive presence on global charts without relying solely on the hype of a new debut. Their 2025 World Tour was a testament to this, selling out stadiums in minutes across Southeast Asia, North America, and Europe. The emotional connection between EXO and their fans is rooted in a shared history of waiting and trust. When EXO stood on the world stage at the 2018 Pyeongchang Winter Olympics as nation's pick, it wasn't just a performance, it was a coronation. And even in 2026, that royal aura hasn't faded. They represent a bridge between the second and third generations of K-pop, carrying the legacy of the past while dominating the charts of the present. Their statistics are a mountain of firsts, the first to win 5 consecutive Daesangs, grand prizes, at the Mnet Asian Music Awards, the first K-pop group to have a song played at the Dubai Fountain, and the list goes on. But if you ask an EXO-L, they won't just talk about the awards. They'll talk about the way Suho's leadership held the group together during their darkest hours, or the way D.O.'s soulful voice feels like home. The Silver Ocean is more than just a light stick color, it is a symbol of a fandom that refused to let their stars burn out. As we look at the landscape of 2026, EXO's influence is woven into the very DNA of the industry, from the concept-heavy lore that every new group now adopts to the standard of all-rounder talent. They have transitioned from the monsters of the industry to its wise, untouchable kings. Their presence at number 5 is a reminder that while trends may come and go, true artistry and a bond forged in fire are eternal. As the members explore more solo endeavors while always returning to their EXO planet roots, the world continues to watch in awe. The story of EXO is a story of survival, evolution, and an unbreakable promise to their fans. We Are One isn't just a slogan. In 2026, it is a global reality that connects millions of souls under the same silver light. How much longer can they reign? If the last decade is any indication, the answer is as long as the stars are in the sky. Number 4. Twice. The Eternal Nine, the nation's heartbeat, conquering the world one stadium at a time. In the fast-moving, often ruthless machinery of the K-pop industry, there is a golden rule that many groups eventually succumb to, the 7-year curse. But as we look at the landscape of 2026, one group has not only shattered that rule, but has rebuilt the entire foundation of what a long-lasting, globally dominant girl group looks like. We are entering the top 4 with the icons of resilience and sisterhood, Twice. Supported by the vibrant and unwavering candy bong sea of the once fandom, Twice has transitioned from the nation's girl group in South Korea to the world's girl group, proving that the power of 9 is truly unstoppable. To understand the sheer magnitude of Twice in 2026, we have to travel back to 2015 to the survival show 16. Can you imagine the pressure these 9 girls felt, knowing that their dreams were being decided in front of a national audience? From that moment of birth, the phrase 9 or none became more than just a slogan for once, it became a sacred oath. They burst onto the scene with like ooh ah, but it was the viral explosion of cheer up and the shy syndrome that turned them into a cultural phenomenon. For years, they were the queens of color pop, delivering hit after hit like TT, Knock Knock, and Signal, capturing the hearts of millions with their bright energy and infectious hooks. However, the true test of a fandom's strength isn't found in the sunshine, but in the storm. When Mina and later Jeon had to take hiatuses for their mental health, the world watched to see if the group would falter. Instead, the once fandom became a protective shield, and the remaining members left gaps on stage and kept their microphones open, a silent but powerful testimony that Twice is only twice when all 9 are present. This deep emotional bond is what sets the OWN's fandom apart. It is a relationship built on mutual healing and support. By the time 2022 arrived, the industry held its breath for their contract renewal. In a historic move, all 9 members chose to stay together, a rare feat that signaled the beginning of their Phase 2 global expansion. We saw them evolve from the cute concepts of their youth into the sophisticated, confident sounds of Fancy, I Can't Stop Me, and The Feels. In 2024, they reached a peak that few dared to dream of, becoming the first K-pop girl group to hit #1 on the Billboard 200 with Youth, and later making history as the first overseas female artist to headline the legendary Nissan Stadium in Japan, drawing 140,000 fans in just 2 nights. But that was just the beginning. As we stand here in 2026, the TWICE phenomenon has only intensified. Their 2025 special 10th anniversary album TEN, The Story Goes On, wasn't just a record. It was a celebration of a decade of shared memories, breaking physical sales records and reminding the world why they are the best-selling K-pop girl group of all time, with over 20 million albums sold. The once fandom has grown into a diverse, global community that spans across generations, from the uncle fans who have been there since debut to the new Gen Z fans in Europe and Latin America who discovered them through their record-breaking Ready to Be and This Is For world tours. In April 2026, they achieved what was once thought impossible, becoming the first overseas artist ever to hold a solo concert at the Tokyo National Stadium, a venue of immense symbolic importance. The scale of their 2026 world tour is breathtaking, featuring 360-degree open stages that allow every single fan to feel the one-in-a-million connection. Beyond the group activities, the individual brilliance of the members has also flourished. Nayeon and Jihyo established themselves as powerhouse soloists, while the Missimo unit, Momo, Sana, and Mina, conquered the Japanese charts with a chic, mature elegance. Yet, despite their solo successes, they always return to the center, to the TWICE identity that defines them. Their 2025 release Strategy, featuring Megan Thee Stallion, and its subsequent RIAA Platinum certification in early 2026, proved that their musical growth knows no bounds. What makes the ONCE fandom so massive in 2026 is the sheer reliability of the group. They are the steady heartbeat of K-pop, consistently delivering high-quality music and genuine interactions that make every fan feel like a personal friend. They taught us that being bright doesn't mean you don't face darkness, and that staying together is the ultimate form of rebellion in a world that tries to pull you apart. As the TWICE Let's Go chant echoes through the largest stadiums in the world, from Los Angeles to Seoul to Tokyo, it's clear that their story is nowhere near its final chapter. They have become the blueprint for longevity, the standard for synchronization, and the definition of a global top-tier girl group. They are the 9 stars that refuse to dim, and as long as there is one once left to hold a light stick, the silver and apricot glow will never fade from the global stage. Can you imagine a world where 9 different souls stay together for over a decade, refusing to let even one person fall behind? What is the secret behind a group that can transition from the color pop of youth to the mature, stadium-shaking anthems of 2026 without losing a single fan? The answer lies in the hearts of millions of ONCEs who know that with TWICE, the best is always yet to come. They are not just a group, they are a legacy in motion, a testament to the power of staying true to yourself and your sisters. As we look toward the future, one thing is certain: the world is still cheering up for the Eternal 9. Number 3. NCT. The Infinite Expansion, the Neo-Cultural Revolution, the Symphony of 26 Hearts. If you ever wanted to see what the future of human connection looks like in the palm of your hand, you only need to look at the green glowing ocean of a group that didn't just break the rules of K-pop, they rewrote the entire physics of the industry. We are stepping onto the podium with the titans of the neo-culture technology era. NCT. At number 3, this isn't just a group, it's a living, breathing, ever-evolving ecosystem that has redefined what it means to be a global fandom. Supported by the NCTzens, affectionately known as Zennies or the Grasshoppers for their sea of neon green lightsticks, NCT has built a multi-dimensional empire that spans continents, languages, and genres. To understand how they reached this height in 2026, we have to look back at the radical, almost frighteningly ambitious vision of SM Entertainment in 2016. The concept of infinite expansion was met with confusion and even resistance at first. How could a group have no fixed number of members? How could they be split into units like 127, Dream, and Wavy? People called it too complex, but NCTzens saw the beauty in the chaos. They saw a group where every member was a gear in a massive, high-tech machine designed to conquer the world. The journey truly ignited with NCT 127, the soul-based unit that took the neo-sound experimental, bass-heavy, and unapologetically noisy to the world's biggest stages. From the metallic clang of Cherry Bomb to the martial arts-inspired Kick It, 127 became the vanguard of K-pop's experimental edge. By 2025, their Neo City The Unity World Tour saw them selling out stadiums in North America and Europe, proving that their pioneer status was no fluke. But then, you have the heart and soul of the system, NCT Dream. Originally a graduation-based unit for teenagers, the bond between the 7 Dream members was so powerful that the fandom literally forced the industry to change its rules. In 2025 and early 2026, NCT Dream reached a level of commercial dominance that few thought possible, with their albums Go Back to the Future and Beat It Up achieving their 10th consecutive million-seller status. They represent the growth narrative that K-pop fans crave, watching 7 boys grow from the hoverboard-riding kids of chewing gum into the stadium-shaking icons of today. And we can't forget Wavy, the bridge to the massive Chinese market, whose sophisticated R&B-infused sound brought a whole new dimension of cool to the NCT brand. In 2026, the arrival of NCT Wish, the Japan-based unit, has completed the global circuit, proving that the Neo energy is truly borderless. What makes the NCTs in fandom so enormous in 2026 is its sheer diversity. You have the unit stans, the solo stans, and the all-unit stans who live for the massive, full-group projects like Resonance, Universe, and the 2025 Golden Age comeback. These moments, where all 26-plus members stand on one stage, are like a spiritual experience for the fans, a reminder that despite the distances and the different units, they are all part of one Neo family. The statistical power of NCT in 2026 is mind-blowing. We're talking about a group that collectively sells over 10 million albums annually across its various units, with their YouTube views and social media engagement consistently ranking in the top 3 globally. But beyond the spreadsheets, it's the emotional depth of the Neo identity. NCTzens are a fandom that embraces being different. They found solace in the experimental beats and the members' raw, honest struggles with the pressures of the system. Whether it's Mark's legendary work ethic as he juggles multiple units, Taehyung's transformative leadership that guided them through the early years, or Ten's breathtaking artistry that pushes the boundaries of performance, every member offers a unique hook for a global audience. As we look at the landscape of 2026, the system has matured. The mandatory military service for the elder members of 127 has led to a fascinating period of solo exploration, with Jaehyun's discharge in early 2026 and Do-young's powerhouse solo concerts creating a new layer of excitement. Meanwhile, the younger members of Dream and Wish are leading the charge for the next generation, ensuring that the NCT fire never goes out. To stand in an arena in 2026 and hear the deafening roar of NCT is to realize that this wasn't just a marketing experiment, it was a revolution. They taught us that you don't have to be one thing to be successful, you can be a multitude. They proved that complexity isn't a barrier to love, it's a reason for it. The NCTs in fandom is a digital native powerhouse, a community of theorists, creators, and advocates who have turned the Neo world into a global home. They are the ones who stayed through the confusion, who cheered through the expansion, and who now stand at the summit of the industry, watching as their infinite dream has become a concrete reality. As the 10th anniversary celebrations begin in 2026, the question isn't how big NCT can get, it's how much more of the world they can turn Neo. They are the architects of the new age, and with a fandom that is as interconnected and high-tech as the group itself, the sky isn't the limit, it's just the beginning of their universe. Can you feel the resonance? Can you hear the sound of 26 voices merging into one global heartbeat? This is the power of the Grasshopper Army. This is the era of NCT. Number 2. BLACKPINK. The Diamond Queens of the global stage, 4 souls, 1 empire, redefining the ceiling of global pop. If you want to understand what it looks like when 4 individuals become more than just a group, when they become a global movement, a fashion revolution, and a symbol of female empowerment, you only need to look at the pink-lit horizons of the world's most iconic stadiums. We are entering the penultimate spot on our list with the undisputed biggest girl group in the world, the quartet that turned black and pink into the colors of a global takeover, BLACKPINK. At number 2, the scale of this fandom, the Blinks, is something that defies traditional logic. It is a force that doesn't just support a group, it commands the digital and physical world with a level of intensity that has changed the music industry forever. To understand the gravity of BLACKPINK in 2026, we have to look back at the quiet storm before the 2016 debut. When YG Entertainment first teased them, the world was waiting for the successor to 2DNE1, but what they got was something entirely different. A girl crush evolution that would bridge the gap between K-pop and Western pop like never before. From the moment Boom Baya and Whistle dropped, it was clear that Jisoo, Jennie, Rosé, and Lisa weren't just idols, they were it girls. But the journey to 2026 hasn't just been about hits, it's been about the strategic construction of a global brand. Blinks have witnessed the group weather long hiatuses that would have buried any other act, yet every time they returned, they were bigger than before. This scarcity created a hunger in the fandom that turned every release into a global event. By the time we reached the Born Pink era in 2022 to 2023, they had already become the first Asian act to headline Coachella, a moment that saw the desert transformed into a sea of pink. But 2024 and 2025 took this to a whole new dimension. Even as the members ventured into their own solo empires, Jennie with ATEEZ, Lisa with LLOU, Jisoo with Blissoo, and Rosé following her own creative path, the bond of the group remained the ultimate anchor. The year 2025 was the year of the solo takeover. We watched in awe as Rosé's APT featuring Bruno Mars didn't just top the charts, it became a global culture phenomenon, shattering 8 Guinness World Records and earning her a historic 2026 Grammy nomination. We saw Lisa's Rockstar and New Woman with Rosalia dominate the streets of Paris and the airwaves of the US, while Jennie's Mantra and her debut album Ruby solidified her as the most influential K-pop idol of 2025. And then there's Jisoo, whose Eyes Closed collaboration with Zayn showed a vocal maturity that left critics speechless. But the true miracle happened in late 2025, when the Deadline World Tour was announced. This wasn't just another tour, it was a statement. In August 2025, BLACKPINK made history as the first K-pop girl group to headline a solo concert at London's Wembley Stadium, selling out 110,000 seats for 2 consecutive nights. The images of Wembley bathed in pink light, with the deafening roar of Blinks echoing through the heart of England, became the definitive image of 2025 K-pop. As we stand here in January 2026, the group is wrapping up this historic tour with massive shows in Tokyo and Hong Kong, proving that their live power is unmatched. The statistics are mind-boggling. Over 40 billion streams on Spotify, more than 95 million subscribers on YouTube, and each member individually commanding over 80 to 100 million followers on Instagram. But for a Blink, it's not about the numbers. It's about the feeling of in your area. It's about the way Jisoo's steady grace, Jennie's fierce rap, Rosé's ethereal vocals, and Lisa's magnetic dance come together to create a symphony of confidence. The Blink fandom is a masterclass in global mobilization. They are the fans who can sell out a luxury handbag in minutes just because a member wore it, and the fans who can crash the Billboard servers with a single comeback. They are a fandom that has grown up with these girls, seeing them go from trainees to becoming honorary members of the Order of the British Empire in Buckingham Palace. In 2026, with a full group album confirmed for early release, the anticipation is at a fever pitch. The group has moved beyond being just K-pop. They are global A-listers who sit in the front rows of Chanel, Dior, Saint Laurent, and Louis Vuitton, yet they still return to the stage with the same hunger they had in 2016. They have redefined the girl group trajectory, proving that individual success only strengthens the collective. The Deadline Tour has shown a more mature, refined side of BLACKPINK, with a setlist that blends their iconic hits with their groundbreaking solo work, creating a concert experience that feels like a 4-hour festival of empowerment. To be a Blink in 2026 is to be part of an elite, global community that values style, substance, and the power of being unapologetically yourself. They are the group that taught a generation of girls that you can be pink, sweet, and black, strong at the same time. As the final notes of Forever Young ring out in the largest stadiums of 2026, the message is clear. The era of BLACKPINK is far from over. They are the architects of the modern global idol, the queens who broke the ceiling and then built a palace on top of it. Their influence is woven into the fabric of fashion, music, and digital culture. They are the group that made the world realize that 4 girls from Seoul could truly own the planet. The question isn't whether they are the best. The question is, in a world they have already conquered, what is left for them to win? As 2026 unfolds, one thing is certain. As long as those 4 silhouettes stand together on stage, the world will remain pink. It's a legacy of fire, fashion, and an unbreakable bond that has turned 4 voices into a global roar. This is the power of BLACKPINK. This is the kingdom of the blinks. Number 1. BTS. The living legends of music, the Purple Revolution, the global sovereigns of the Hallyu wave. When we reach the summit of this list, we aren't just looking at a musical group, we are witnessing a once-in-a-century cultural shift that has redefined the boundaries of human connection, art, and influence. At the undisputed number 1, we find the 7 men who turned a small, struggling agency into a global empire and transformed the color purple into a worldwide symbol of love and resilience. BTS. Backed by the army, a fandom so massive, so organized, and so emotionally invested that it has been compared to a digital superpower. BTS has transcended the label of K-pop to become a permanent fixture in the history of global popular culture. To truly understand the magnitude of BTS in January 2026, we have to look back at the sheer impossibility of their beginnings. In 2013, they were the ultimate underdogs, coming from big hit entertainment at a time when the big 3 dominated everything. They didn't have the luxury of expensive marketing or guaranteed TV slots. They had only their voices, their lyrics about the struggles of youth, and a direct line to their fans through a then-emerging platform called Twitter. They were Nugu idols, unrecognized and often overlooked, but they were building a foundation of authenticity that would eventually move mountains. Fast forward to the mid-2022, and we've witnessed a journey that feels more like a cinematic epic than a career. The years 2024 and 2025 were perhaps the most significant in their history, marking the Great Reunion. While the world watched as each member Jin, Jae, Hope, RM, Suga, Jimin V, and Jungkook fulfilled their mandatory military service, the army fandom didn't just wait, they thrived. This period, known as Chapter 2, saw the members conquer the global charts as soloists, proving that even as individuals, they are giants. We saw Jin's triumphant return in June 2024, followed by J-Hope in October, and finally, the emotional climax in June 2025, when RM, V, Jimin, Jungkook, and Suga were discharged, reuniting the OT7 for the first time in years. The images of the 7 members together, again in front of the Hybe building, with the We Are Back logo glowing purple against the Seoul skyline, sent shockwaves through the internet that were felt in every corner of the globe. As we stand here in 2026, the BTS effect is more potent than ever. Their 2025 comeback project, culminating in the announcement of their 5th full-length album scheduled for the 20th of March 2026, has already broken pre-order records before a single teaser was even released. This album is whispered to be a 14-track masterpiece that reflects on their journey from the Malona Room to the United Nations, a poetic closing of one chapter and the grand opening of the next. But the real earthquake is the 2026 to 2027 BTS World Tour, a staggering 79-date odyssey across 34 cities that is set to be the highest-grossing tour by any Asian artist in history. Starting the 9th of April 2026 at the Goyang Stadium, this tour will see them headlining the world's most iconic venues, including 2 nights at London's Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and a historic run across North America, Latin America, and Europe. The demand is so astronomical that ticket servers crashed globally within seconds of the announcement, a testament to a fandom that has only grown hungrier during the hiatus. The statistics of the ARMY are truly mind-boggling, with over 100 million combined followers on social media and a reach that spans over 100 countries. They are a fandom that functions with the efficiency of a global NGO. In 2026, the ARMY isn't just about streaming songs, they are about social change, having raised millions for causes ranging from Black Lives Matter to UNICEF and climate change initiatives. This is a fandom that created its own scholarly journals, its own legal teams, and its own global network of support, all inspired by the Love Yourself message that RM delivered at the UN podium. The members themselves have evolved into elder statesmen of the industry. In 2025, we saw Jimin's Who and Jungkook's 7 continue to dominate the Billboard Global 200, while Jin's solo album Happy brought a new rock-inspired energy to the group's discography. RM and V have become icons of art and high fashion, while Suga's production skills have made him one of the most sought-after collaborators in the world. Yet, despite their individual heights, their greatest strength remains their unity. The 2026 World Tour is more than just a series of concerts. It is a global homecoming. It is the answer to the question of whether a group can survive the peak of fame and the mandatory break of the military. BTS didn't just survive, they ascended. They taught a generation that it's okay to be vulnerable, that music can be a shield against the pressures of society, and that the bond between an artist and a fan can be a life-saving connection. As we look at the landscape of 2026, BTS is the sun around which the entire K-pop galaxy orbits. Their influence is found in the self-producing models of younger groups, in the global acceptance of Korean lyrics on Western radio, and in the very way the music industry approaches digital engagement. They have won American Music Awards, Billboard Music Awards, and multiple Grammy nominations, but their true legacy is found in the millions of lives they have touched. The Oppo Bangpo, Army Forever, Bangtan Forever sentiment is no longer just a hashtag. It is a lived reality for a fandom that has stood by them for over a decade. Whether it's the light stick-filled oceans of the Rose Bowl or the quiet moments of a fan listening to Spring Day in a bedroom halfway across the world, the connection is the same. They are the 7 stars that refuse to be separated, the 7 voices that became a roar, and the one group that proved that music is a universal language that needs no translation. As 2026 unfolds and the world prepares for the release of their most anticipated album yet, the question isn't whether BTS will top the charts, that's a given. The real question is, how much deeper can this purple ocean go? In a world that is often divided, BTS and ARMY have built a bridge made of melodies and shared dreams. They are the number one because they didn't just reach the top, they redefined what the top looks like. They are the legends of our time, the kings of our hearts, and the proof that 7 boys from Korea could truly change the world. As the bangtan bangtan bangtangent sonyeon dan chant begins to echo in the stadiums of 2026, one thing is certain: the world is finally, fully, and forever purple.